Okie dokie. I'm here with Bobby Canipe, and I've known Bobby for a few years, and I know for a fact that he's a man about town. he, you have a lot of ovens in the fire, or what how's it go? A lot of hands in the fire, ovens, and whatever. You're always very busy, but right now you're doing a couple of different things. Is your documentary actually done? I know you did Mom and Pop. Is that in the can?
Yeah. So I was doing Mom and Pop. 2 weeks ago, we finished production on that and got our last interview. So now we're in post production, which is just the editing phase. So we're done filming everything that we're going to film, and now it's just me sitting on a computer going through 150 hours of footage to try to knock it down to an hour and 20 minutes.
Good lord, good luck with that, man.
It's a nightmare so far, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of editing myself. Um, is this like? I know everyone says they have a dream project, but for you, correct me if I'm wrong. You never had that many dreams to be a filmmaker or director. This just kind of happened.
Yeah, so growing up, I loved movies like you did, like a lot of us did. I love watching movies, and I always wanted to be involved with it somehow, whether it be making them, even reviewing them, like
Mm-hmm.
anything to do with it. So about 10 years ago, I actually made my first movie and was gonna kind of go that path and keep going, but life happened,
Right.
kids and all that stuff. So I kind of put it on the back burner, and then I started talking about this documentary idea, and it just kind of got legs, man, and kind of started doing its own thing. And I was like, well, it's going, so I'm going to go with it. So we started the pre-production on it, and just kind of planning like, how could I do this? Who would I interview? What would be the storyline, basically, of it? And it all came together really well. So I did the Indiegogo, and then I put it up. I said, if I can raise $5,000, I'll do it. I'll
Mm-hmm.
put it all or nothing. Either I hit 5,000 and I get it, but if I hit 4,999, I don't do it. So,
Yeah.
it surpassed 5,000. People kept messaging me saying they loved the idea, and it took legs from there. And along the way, we've been filming since last July. Along the way, I found I really like it. I really enjoy filming and all that. And I've always liked to write. That's what I got my bachelor's degree in. That's what I went to college for. So I just started writing scripts, and and I'll be honest, I just started writing scripts by going to YouTube or Google and saying, "How do I write a script?" Like
Yeah.
I had the ideas, I just didn't know how to format it the way it's supposed to look. So figured out how to do that. I sent some little scripts out to some of my friends, and they were like, yeah, "It's great. You should do this. You should do that." So I said, "You know what? Let's do it." And I just started working on any movie I could find. If a buddy of mine was working on something, I'd go work on it and learn something.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of went from there. And now I went from doing a small little cameo in Dumbo Farmer's Shark Extras 2 to then he's like, "Hey, you're pretty good at filming. Film this scene for me." So I filmed the scene. He loved it. So he's like, "All right, I want you to be assistant director on my next project."
Mm-hmm.
So we did that. Then he's like, "I want you to create an entire short, which is the film Intinction that we're getting ready to film in May." And it just, I feel like this was my path, and I just kind of stumbled across it. Fortunately, I stumbled across it.
Just to clarify, the title is Intinction, and it's not Instinction. It's not Instinction as spoken by a 4-year-old. It's Intinction.
Exactly, Intinction. And a lot of people ask me, like, what is Intinction? So, Intinction is a Catholic term used when they go to do communion, where they dip the bread into the wine and they eat it all at one time.
Mm-hmm.
The bread is symbolized as the flesh, and the wine is symbolized as the blood. Our film Intinction is all about cannibal Catholic nuns.
Uh,
So I figured there was no better term from the Catholic dictionary than intinction, because it literally means to eat flesh and blood at one time. So
mm-hmm.
that's what I went with.
Man, what did nuns do to piss you off, man? Uh, do you have any favorite nun exploitation films?
I don't know if it'd be nun. Well, I guess it would be nunsploitation. I love Mike Mendez's The Convent.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
that's a huge favorite of mine, and throughout the writing process of the script for Intinction, I kept thinking of the nuns from that movie.
yeah.
And I didn't copy their idea, but obviously there's some influence there when I was writing because I kept thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly that, and there's no nuns in it, but Night of the Demons.
Yeah.
Throughout the writing, I kept thinking Night of the Demons in the Convent over and over again. But it's a very extreme gore movie as well. So I don't know if you've ever seen Burning Moon, which is a German gore movie of the 80s.
Love it,
Um,
love it.
yeah, yeah. So Burning Moon was a huge inspiration to me as well because, they have the Catholic priest in there, and then they have their very gory, you know, picturesque hell scene that they do, which is
Yeah.
insane. Like, it's incredible. So, yeah, while I was writing very much The Convent for Mike Mendez, Night of the Demons, and Burning Moon was kind of the ones I went off. But I know I strayed way off of your question there, but I guess
No.
nunsploitation would be Convent.
No, that's fine. It's interesting you say that though, is because Night of the Demon was very very clearly an inspiration, or Night of the Demons, I should say, an inspiration for the Convent. Um, and that I love the Convent a whole big bunch. Man, I wish he would do more stuff. Mike Mendez hasn't done that much since
No,
then.
he's not. He does a lot of editing actually, because I follow him on Twitter, and he's big in editing. He edits
Yeah.
a lot of big movies. But yeah, I love Mike Mendez. I wish he would do more stuff as well.
Yeah. So do you have any glow in the dark nuns then in the Intinction?
So not glow in the dark, but I did like the look of that. So
Yeah.
I haven't told anybody about this, but I'll announce it here. One of the cool things we're doing for the nuns is we're using reflective contacts, and what those are, they're in the movie Riddick. If you remember Riddick, basically what it is,
Yeah.
it's mirrored contacts. So when a light shines on them, they reflect the light back like a cat's eyes. So all the nuns will have those kind of reflective mirrored contacts.
Very cool. Very cool. Um, so this will be. I mean, I don't know if you guys even know about a release date yet. I know Intinction is a part of an anthology, correct?
Yeah, yeah. Intinction is going to be part of what Donald Farmer calls Nun Dead, Cannibals of the Cloth, and every one of the stories in that is about nuns in some way,
Yeah.
killer nuns, demon nuns, whatever. So I wrote the short Intinction very much in my style, which from what I've heard of the other shorts, it's dramatically different than theirs. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to have like 5 shorts in it, all about nuns, and it's going to be available, I believe, in July. Now, I got the rights to my short, so what I'm going to do is I have the Indiegogo going right now, and my short will be done in June, and I'll have it done, edited, and everything. So the Indiegogo is going, and one of the perks you can get is a DVD copy of just our short. So anybody that backs that and chooses that perk will actually get to see the movie, sooner than if you get the anthology.
Okay. Sweet. Have you seen? It's been a long time since I've seen it, but have you seen Alucard?
Card. I know what you're talking about, and I can see the cover in my head, but I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever actually watched it.
It's not bad. It's just pure blaspheming for 90 minutes. But it's along those lines anyway. Although there is no cannibalism in it. You might be onto something here.
I
There's
think I might be.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I've seen a few recent like nun. I wouldn't go as far as to say that evil nuns are a trend right now, but I know The Nun is out there on all the streaming services. So
Yeah, and I'll be honest, when I was doing some research, doing the screenplay and stuff, every time you would search about like nuns or horror or things that maybe happened in true life with Catholic
yeah.
nuns, the nun would pop up every single time. So it's definitely got reach.
Well, there's more than one film with that title too. I know that
Oh, yeah.
Brian Usna did a film called The Nun.
He did. What was that? Early 90s?
No, that was oh gosh, I don't want to say the year because I'm off, but it was definitely around 2010-ish, maybe before
So
that.
it was much later. Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't one of his '90s films.
Gotcha.
But okay, going back to Mom and Pop for a second, I wanted to do more on that.
Yeah.
The I know you and I we kind of speak the same language when it comes to video stores, but people don't really. I don't know. I don't know what the age cutoff is exactly, but at some point, kids don't really know what the hell we're talking about when we say, yeah, we rented movies on the weekend. Like what? We can watch because now you can watch movies, for lunch. And then after that, you can watch another movie, and you don't have to leave your sofa. You can do a whole day of movie watching, all different types of movies, all different decades, without even leaving your house or a single room. So, I mean, talk about that just a little bit, the experience of, at least a family night of renting movies and yada yada yada, all that good shit.
Yeah, I mean, I know talking to people like countless other people have had this same memory, but growing up, I would get picked up from school as a car rider, and my dad would pick me up and be like, "Hey, how about you invite one of your friends over? We'll go get a pizza and we'll go to the video store."
Mm-hmm.
And that was honestly growing up, especially in the '90s, the most fun thing you could do. I would just walk up and down the aisles, looking at everything. I always went straight to the horror section because they always had like,
Yeah.
that was like the forbidden zone when you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of snuck in there. You felt like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be in here, especially when you were seeing like the really gory or lurid covers.
Mm-hmm.
You knew like, wow, I shouldn't be looking at this, and I'd always look around, but and make sure nobody was seeing me look at these covers. But my parents were pretty cool about letting me rent whatever I wanted. So I was seeing things at a young age that I didn't even know existed at the time.
Right.
Now with kids, they have the internet and all this stuff, and they're seeing new things every day, whether it be TikTok or YouTube or whatever. When we were kids in the '90s, the internet was just starting out. I wasn't on the internet, at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I went and I saw, for example, and this is a true story, this really happened. When I went to the video store and I saw Donald Farmer's Cannibal Hookers, there's a topless lady on the front of the cover, hacking this guy up with an axe. And I thought, first off, I don't know what a cannibal is. Second, I don't know what a hooker is. But I know it's got something to do with this girl that's half naked chopping this guy up. So I rented this movie based on the cover and the title. By the end of that movie, I knew what a cannibal was and I knew what a hooker was.
Right.
And for me and a lot of people like me, going to the video store on a weekend, it was a sense of exploring, and you found things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You do a great job of selling that as an experience, and I don't know. I just wish there was some way to relive that nowadays. There really isn't, but we do have documentaries like yours. There's a few others that have talked about VHS, like adjust your tracking. Um, but this one is more about the process of actually watching the movies and giving love to the films more so than the format.
Yeah, and one thing that I strive to do. So it's funny you brought up adjust your tracking. I was an executive producer on adjust your tracking and actually interviewed in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Dan and Levi and all of them, I love those guys. They actually stayed in North Carolina at my house when they were down here filming. But what they set out to do, I liked. It was all about the VHS format and collecting and why people collect. With Mom and Pop, really what we're doing is, bringing back those memories, talking to people that shared those memories, the fun times, the wacky times. There's some crazy stories we talk about that are just, some of them are sad, some of them are hilarious and you'll just die laughing. Some of them are crazy, like literally a convicted murderer that skipped town, was on American Most Wanted, and opened a video store, and SWAT swung in and arrested him in the middle of his video store.
Wow.
Yeah, there's insane things, but really this is about the memories, the stories that we had during the 80s and 90s. Because, like you were saying, kids today, they're not going to have any idea what we're talking about. This is going to be like a time capsule where people that actually lived it share our memories.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I can easily tie like video stores to specific movies too. Do you remember? Of course you do. I don't know. I'm asking, but Video World.
Yeah.
That was the greatest place ever. Although when I first discovered Video World, I was too young to really watch the movies. Because my mom was not cool with me checking out horror movies at that age. Like 8 or 9. Um,
Well,
I,
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I would call my mom cool for letting me do it, or she just wasn't the best parent. You know, like she
well,
just whatever. You know, that's
well,
kind of how it
cool.
works.
I mean, I'll say I don't know, laissez-faire. Not even laissez-faire with it, but I see. I think it's cool as long as you know your kid. If you know your kid, and you know that your kid has the right personality for it, and they're made of stronger stuff, then there's nothing wrong with letting them see whatever the film is. Whether it's Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever. Um, I remember renting New Nightmare actually with my dad from a Blockbuster, and I mean I know your film's not about blockbusters, but I remember watching that with him, and that was a big deal for me because Freddy Krueger scared the shit out of me.
Oh yeah.
He was my ultimate boogeyman as a kid. None of the other guys, like Michael Myers, didn't scare me. Jason Voorhees didn't affect me at all. None of them really. Not even Chucky. Just Freddy Krueger was the only one to really mess me up. But I had a fun time with that. So yeah, I rented that. This makes me think of all these other crazy video store memories that I had. I know you came to my house one day and you interviewed me about different stuff. I think that was for a different project, though.
Yeah, that was so that was before we started doing mom and pop. So
Right.
when we went to that's actually your interview. If anybody listening wants to check it out, it is on the Universe Retro YouTube. So you can go hear what Dom has to say about video stores and stuff. But I mean, honestly, I think that was a precursor to mom and pop because
Yeah.
that was me thinking, man, I'd love to talk to people about this. Because I like it. I grew up with it. I know others did. I enjoy talking about it. I'm sure other people would like to talk about it. So, that was kind of like a precursor. When I talked with you, you had great stories. And then, in a way, I do think, talking with you did kind of spiral into this, which turned out to be mom and pop.
I will accept all credit for uh, I was thinking about that, the Universe Retro, because it's a great name for a company for what that is. Have you ever thought? Are you gonna like? This is a silly question, but do you have any like future plans as far as having your own little shingle, your own little production company or something, so you could call it Universe Retro? See.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Here's what happened. We are going to do that.
Yeah.
And camera guy Cagney hit me up one day because, I got him for mom and pop. And then he's got a project he's working on that I'm working on with. And we got like 3 other ones. And he's bought up all this equipment. We have all this equipment. So now we can do Indiegogo campaigns. And we don't have to set aside money for equipment. We've got it all.
Yeah.
So he said we start a production company. And every time I would list a movie on IMDb that I'm working on or something, they would ask for a production company. And I'm like, I don't have a production company. So I'd always put just Universe Retro. So I think that's what we're going to do. Just from now on, we're going to be considered a Universe Retro production or something, just to, I don't know if we'll market it and like spread it all over the place or if it'll just be on a byline somewhere or in the credits somewhere. But yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with, is Universe Retro production if, we need to put a production down.
Right. That's a good idea. So here's the thing. Okay. I had a few more not really questions. Well, they are questions, I guess, because I've covered basically what I wanted to cover. Um,
Sure.
I'm just gonna hit you with a couple of lightning fast. What do you call it? The lightning round here, and
All right.
yeah.
I'll ramble a lot, so I'm going to try not to ramble. I'm going to try to
I
lightning
don't
fast
care.
answer.
No, you can. The questions are the lightning part, but you can answer however quickly you want.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Pepsi or Coke?
Pepsi, 100%. And I personally don't mind Pepsi or Coke. I'm fine with either. But I've grown to just be Pepsi because my wife is strictly Pepsi. I don't know why. Swears up and down Coke tastes dramatically different and she hates it. So we only Pepsi in the house. So I guess by process of elimination, I became a Pepsi fan.
There is a difference in flavor, but I wouldn't call it. I wouldn't say it's a huge difference. But no.
Yeah, I personally don't taste it at all. But apparently, she can taste it.
Huh. Okay. All right. Well, my answer was Coke, but it doesn't matter. You are the
Well, see,
interviewee.
I could go to Walmart and get the Walmart brand of cola, and to me that tastes exactly the same. But
Oh, so
I don't know.
now you're getting now you're just getting ridiculous. That's just insane. But let's see. All right, what about pizza or burgers?
Love burgers, but I gotta go pizza, man. We eat a lot of pizza in our household too, because that's my wife's favorite food. We had pizza at our wedding. That was our food for our
Oh,
wedding.
okay,
So yeah,
sweet,
definitely.
cool. Okay, yeah, no wrong answers here, but you're 0 for 2. Um, also, I guess I should throw in a movie question. Okay, werewolves or vampires?
100% werewolves. I love werewolves. Like when you ask werewolves or vampires, like you could literally be like, "What's your favorite movie monster?" And literally, werewolves are my favorite movie monster.
Mm-hmm.
I love werewolves.
Well, I might as well ask you since we're here. What's your favorite werewolf film?
I gotta say, Bad Moon. I grew up loving Bad Moon. I love the werewolf in Bad Moon. Um, I actually just introduced my daughter to Bad Moon, and she loved it. There's several other werewolf movies as well, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, for fun factor and enjoyment, I'm gonna have to say Bad Moon.
All right, all right. Yeah. Mine would have to be the Howling. I don't
I
know.
love.
I had to get my answer too, but yeah, the Howling rules.
Yeah, oh, I agree. I actually just picked up the 4K last week of The Howling. I
Oh
love it.
yeah, sweet. I need to rewatch that one. Damn it. Okay.
It's good. In 4K though, oh my gosh, the beginning scenes in New York with like the sleazy 42nd Street,
hmm
peep show booths and stuff.
Yeah.
It looks insane in 4K. I see stuff that I never even seen before.
Yeah, that would be really interesting to see, especially for someone like me. I've seen it on DVD, but for the most part, I've only ever watched The Howling either on TV or on VHS.
It's always VHS, I believe. I mean, I
Yeah.
might have seen it on DVD, but VHS, I think, has always been how I watched it. So up until 4K, and when you see 4K, it's like, oh my god.
Freddy or Jason?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go Freddy,
hmm
because I do enjoy Jason. I'm actually, you can't see me, but I'm wearing a Friday the 13th shirt right now with Jason on the front of it. But I guess I would go Freddy because as a kid growing up, I know you said, Freddy was the guy that scared you. Leatherface was the guy that scared me. But between Freddy and Jason, the fact that you could run, I mean, you can run all you want, that ain't gonna happen. When you go to sleep, he's gonna get you, and you can't stay awake forever. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's funny you mentioned Leatherface scaring you. Quick story here. I rented well we rented the Chainsaw Massacre 3 Leatherface um, when I was a kid, and like I don't know what made me I don't know what possessed me to really want to rent that movie specifically, but I just had to have it because I was a kid and I had to have stuff. And so we rented it. I screamed my head off and cried during the opening credits. I couldn't even finish the credits. I didn't even get to the movie, and so like they took it out, and I did watch it the next day, and and I thought it sucked. I was really bored the next day. Even as a kid, I was like, well, that was lame, and but I don't mind it now. I think it's a decent sequel nowadays, but it's
Oh,
just
yeah,
me.
I like it, and I mean with Leatherface and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So my mom let me rent anything. It did not matter what it was. Like literally, I was renting Cannibal Camp Out, Demon Queen, and stuff like that. 555 Lunch Meat, all these weird shot-on-video gore movies. I like 8 years old,
Mm-hmm.
but the whole time, mom would say I could watch whatever on it, but I couldn't watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Who knows why? Like she went and seen it at the drive-in when she was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently it scared her to death. And she's like, you can watch anything but the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, growing up, I would watch all these crazy, gory, scary movies and think, well, if I can watch these, but I can't watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that must be like the most terrifying movie of all time. So I was about 10 or 11, and I asked my mom, I was like, please, like I've watched everything, let me watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So she's like, are you sure you're ready? And I was like, yeah. So I watched it. I loved it. It's my favorite horror movie in the entire world.
Yeah.
But it wasn't terrifying, but I think it built up this mystique in my head after so many years of my mom saying you can rent anything you want but that there was no way I was not going to love it when I watched it. So I think that's a big part of why I love Leatherface and why I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
My mom had a similar thing with The Exorcist. She did not want me to ever see The Exorcist. Even as I got older into my teens, like, you're not watching The Exorcist. No way, not in this house. You're not watching The Exorcist.
Nope.
I think part of that is, she's religious, so that makes it double, sinful or horrifying or whatever. But of course, I love The Exorcist now.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot, especially being here in North Carolina in the Bible Belt. The Exorcist was one that they just people did not want their kids watching.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I understand why. It's obvious. I mean, if
Yeah,
you can't really expect these people to look beneath the surface too much, but I mean, it has a lot of Christian values to it. If you actually look at the film and the storyline, it's basically, I wouldn't call it a Christian film, but it does have Christian values.
yeah.
Uh,
It's basically the triumph and the battle of good versus evil. You
yeah,
know?
exactly. That's what all horror films are. I'm surprised that doesn't get brought up more. The fact that good usually beats evil in these things. But
Yeah,
oh well.
exactly.
Bobby Canipe, sir. I'm going to go ahead and call it an interview. Um, Thanks for taking the time out to talk to me.
Dude, thank you, man. Like anytime, I'm here. We'll talk anytime, man. I love it.